All right, I know a lot of you are looking to get started on YouTube and you want to know how much money can I make? How much money does a real YouTuber make? Well, we're talking about my new channel that I just set up. It's called 3D Print Rancher. Let me pull it up here. This is it right here. 3D Print Rancher currently has 5.75 thousand subscribers, 38 videos, and we just got going on this. But I have a main channel, which is the Den of Tools. Now, that one's got over 300,000 subscribers. So we've been doing that for a while. And yes, I'm an established YouTuber. But I was doing two experiments here. One, I wanted to document what it was like to set up a side business as a 3D print rancher, or they usually call them print farming, but I'm in Montana. We ranch up here. And the point is that I wanted to keep a documentation of that, and that's why I started the channel. But also, I didn't want to contaminate my numbers from my main channel there, okay? So I didn't talk about it on the main channel at all for the first 4 weeks almost, pretty much. In fact, I didn't start talking about it until just this past weekend. And I still haven't linked to it, so people still can't find it and stuff like that. There have been some people who stumbled across it who are like, hey, aren't you so-and-so? But it's all been organic at that point. So I didn't cheat and basically open the floodgates from one channel to another. And to be honest, even after I did mention it, there's not that many people who want to transfer over from one to the other. They're not exactly aligned kind of channels. But let's talk about the numbers because that's what you came here for, all right? So in the first month, we made $46. Hold on. That's the first month after the first video was published, which was October 7th, okay? But we didn't get monetized until November 2nd. So if you want to look at the first 30 days after being monetized, that number is $1,266.83. Now, the numbers we're talking about here, these are AdSense monetization only. What that means is how much YouTube is paying me for this channel. It doesn't include any other income. There's no affiliate income, no sponsor income, no merch, there's no memberships, none of that. I don't even have any of that stuff set up, and I don't plan to set up any of that stuff soon. So right now, what we're looking at is just AdSense, all right? And $1,200. Is it enough to retire on? Probably not. But if think about it. If you're an older folks and you're retired and you already have maybe some income as a secondary source of income, that's a nice little bump, isn't it? If you're young and getting started, that's a nice little side income. And this is just 1 month. It took me years the first time. People are always like, YouTube was easy back in the day. It was on easy mode. Nuh-uh. Easy mode's right now. Right now is easy mode because it took me forever to get monetized when I first started YouTube, and it took me forever to make a decent income. I can still remember when I finally started making $1,000 a month. That was a huge deal. I did this in 1 month, all right? But I got skills that allow me to do that because I've learned as I went throughout the years, I understood the principles. I didn't cheat in any of this. I worked really hard to keep it separate and just worked based on those principles. And then the principles that I'm going to tell you here at the end, but you want to see the rest of the numbers. So let's get into that before I get all preachy on you. All right. So we're looking at $1,200 there. Now, as far as, how much like RPM, that kind of stuff, right here, we're looking at $7.46 is my RPM stream. Now, what that means is how much money advertisers are paying per, was it per million views, something like that, or per 1,000 views or whatever. There's some, I don't remember what the acronym stands for, but basically on my main channel, I'm making, I think, $1.50 more RPM wise. I think honestly that, and when I compared them video for video, honestly, my main channel is making less. And the reason for that is this is still incorporating the first videos I did over that first month where I wasn't making any money. So that's pulling my average down. Based on per view right now, this channel is making more per view than my main channel. Now, I'm a big proponent of product review channels and not just doing product reviews, talking about the product industry, talking about product news and reviews. That's news, reviews, and deals. That's kind of what we feature on the channels. And I'm doing the same thing on this one. And trust me, it works, all right? Case in point. So anyway, we're looking at 7.46 in RPM on this. How we make our money, as you see, we made it all in November. How we make their money, watch paid ads, there you go, shorts feeds, $3.63 from shorts. I'm not a shorts content creator. I don't do the meme thing, so I'm not going to be good at that. But we're looking at 1263 there. But let's see here. I know that let's dive into some of the fun stuff. Just seeing where the audience is, what the audience is. 72.5% new viewers. Casual viewers are 27%. Regular viewers is 0.1. We could popular with different audiences. Yada yada yada. We can see the videos that are really growing. My channel here, those are very high and high on this one. Channels my audience watches. That's always an interesting thing to see what else people watch. The next layer, 3D Print Mike. 3D Print Mike, he's got a great channel, great news every week. 3D Printing Nerd. Uncle Jesse, fantastic guy. He actually subscribed to the channel. Nice guy there. I like it. I'm just going to say this about him. I've seen him comment on a lot of other channels and all in his stuff. He's definitely one of those content creators who actually really interacts with the audience, and not just his audience, but the whole community. And I really admire guys who do that. I try to do that myself. So, I got to respect that. When is my audience on? That's a nice to know kind of thing. It's more interesting if you're doing live streams. If you're posting videos, don't worry about, I got to post right at the sweet spot. Don't worry about that. It's going to average out in the long run. If you're doing a live stream, it's important. If you're just posting a video, don't worry about it. Subscriber bell notifications, got to get those numbers up. Those are weak numbers on it. Watch time for subscribers, that's to be expected for a new channel being that low. I'm not worried about that one. Formats your viewers watch, videos, shorts, live. Well, I haven't done a live, so I guess that's people what they watch on other channels. All right, well, this is where things get interesting. First off, device type. Right now we're seeing TV is 38% of the audience, mobile phone is 26, computer is 25, and tablet is 10. This is very different than my audience on my main channel, where it's at least 50% on TV. So definitely more mobile users here. When we look at age and gender, 96.9% male. That's not surprising in the least bit. And then age group. This is going to be different probably than most other people in the 3D printing space, where you see that I'm at, my core audience here starts at 25, but really hits at 35 to 64, with wings down to 25 and up to 65. A smattering in the 18 to 24 in the younger group. But, I'm an older guy and I'm going to attract an older audience. That's just to be assumed, okay? Now, if you're looking at this going, well, what does that matter to me when I'm doing my channel? Well, what this really, you have to learn who your audience is and how to talk to them, stuff like that. But it's really going to be an issue when you start talking to sponsors, all right? Like, case in point in here, my top geographies, United States, is 72.1%. For me, that's low. On my main channel, it's just over 90%, with the vast majority of the ones that are not in the United States being in Canada. I have a few trickling throughout Europe and the rest of the world, but mostly it's the US, a little bit in Canada. In this case, it's the US and a smidge of Canada, but then a smidge of Germany and United Kingdom and Australia. 3D printing has a big foothold over in Europe, so there's a lot of that over there. So I guess I'm not surprised, but as for most sponsors, they're going to want, because I'm in the US, they're going to usually want to target an American audience. So that might bring my rates down a little bit. But inversely, my audience being older in the, 35 to 64, that's going to be people who are established, who have a greater degree of income that they can spend. So that's going to bump it up considerably. So it's it's a little bit of column one, a little bit of column two. It's good and bad there. But what can you expect with your channel? Now, if you just came for the numbers, you got the numbers. Well, let's talk real quick about it, though, about the whole thing. So how do you get there from where you are? And what I'm going to say there is you need to have a strategy. Now, I come at it from a viewpoint of being a product review. Yes. I always say take your pick a genre, then pick a niche, and then pick a micro niche. On my main channel, my genre is tools. My niche is bang for the buck tools, and my micro niche is Harbor Freight, because Harbor Freight is very popular, and they weren't as popular when I started, but they've gotten very popular moving forward, and it's become one of those things. We became the go-to, and I always say, pick your micro niche and then own the blank out of it. And we have done that. We've become the go-to channel for anybody who wants to talk about Harbor Freight products, where they're going, what they're doing, what's news, what's getting leaked, that kind of stuff. And that, as I said, gets into that threefold of doing product reviews, talking about the industry itself, and then covering deals as well. And we're doing the same thing on this channel, that my secondary channel there, where we're talking about the genre is 3D printers. The subgenre is I call it 3D print ranching is the subgenre, and the micro niche is Bamboo Lab printers for business. And we talk about them because they're popular and because they are the go-to answer for the solution. That's what you need to figure out. You need to figure out what questions people are asking, figure out what the answer is, and focus on that. And that's how you figure out, that's how you get a niche that is thriving, all right? When I talk about Harbor Freight on my main channel, I get tons of responses. All my highest viewed videos, well, most of my highest viewed videos, I think my two highest viewed videos are on Craftsman and on WD-40, but of my top 100, they're probably 80% Harbor Freight. Same here. My top videos are on Bamboo Lab. In fact, we can go, let me see if I can pull it up real quick. We'll pull up content. We'll go to, here we are, content. We've gone into night mode. Look at that. That's nice. Then we'll sort by views. And my number one video is Bamboo Lab Black Friday deals. Cheaty, you're like, well, that one's about Cheaty, but it's in comparison to the Bamboo Lab X1 Carbon. How much I made my first month 3D printing. Well, that's kind of ironic. Then Bamboo, Elegoo, Anycubic, but then we go back to Bamboo Lab, then flash forward, then back to Bamboo Lab, the more kind of miscellaneous, more back Bamboo Lab. And again, I'm going to try and I shoot for a ratio of 50%. All right. I try to do 50% on my micro niche, and then expand out into my niche for the remainder of it. And don't venture outside your niche. Okay. Once you become a truly big and established, content creator, then you can start poking at the sides and trying to see how far you can push that bubble. But people really don't like to watch content creators they expect for one thing to be doing another thing unless it's in a completely different channel. They feel that it's going to dilute the stuff that they watch. Like, I come here for this, I come here for A, don't make it C and D also. I want A, that's the content I want. I've got people I watch for C and D. Forget B, nobody watches B. Anyway, I think that doing YouTube is or social media, is one of the things that pretty much every business person should be doing. And anybody with a significant hobby, all right? Because if you're doing it, why not make a little bit extra money while you're doing it? I always try to get my hobbies to pay for themselves. And then often my hobbies turn into legitimate businesses. So if you are a business, I talked to a gentleman the other day. He does knife sharpening. He's a chef who's retired and is doing knife sharpening. And I'm supposed to go over, we're going to try and meet up and talk about the tools and stuff that he uses for my main channel. He's started to dabble. I've seen what he's been doing in Instagram and stuff like that, but he needs to go way deeper in that. As I said, if you're already doing the content, if you're already doing it, then just film it. People are like, well, I don't know how to edit. I don't know how to do this. It's just another skill to learn. It's not that hard. Ask anybody on my main channel, they'll tell you, I'm not a great editor. I am not even a great content creator. I'm just really good at being honest and relating to my community. I listen to them. I provide feedback. I go and I research stuff that they ask questions about. And that's kind of one of the rules. If I hear it once, okay, I hear it once. I hear it twice, I start going, well, that's interesting. I heard it twice. I hear it 3 times, and I start putting down notes. Okay? because if one person's asking, there's 20 or more who haven't asked. You get 3 people asking, that's exponential at that point. That means this is a conversation that's really being had, and you need to start talking about it. So find out what your genre is, find out what your niche is, and then focus on your micro niche. And then start making videos. You want to get out at least 20 videos before you start like promoting it anywhere else. You want to keep your videos concise. You want to do content that is slightly broad, like not just like doing a review of one product. You want to talk about the product. You want to talk about the market. You want to talk about what's going on. Talk about deals. You want to talk about different ways that people use it. You want to have evergreen content, and you want to have spontaneous content. Like my video, my #1 video on Bamboo Labs, the Black Friday deals went crazy. 92,000 views. That's awesome. It's not going to get another view. That video is dead. Now, my other videos, like I've got one on how to hook up, some parts on the back of a Bamboo Lab printer. That video is not doing great, but it's going to continue to generate views each and every month. On my main channel, I've got a video where I fixed a washing machine. When I launched it, it did nothing. 3 years later, I go back and checked on it. It's over 100,000 views because people are always going back to it. It's a reference kind of video. That's what we're talking about, evergreen content. There's someone who always needs to go and look at it. It's always going to be green. It's not going to fade away. Stuff that's timely, sales deals, news, information, stuff like that, that's going to get you a quick burst right now. It's like sugar. It's going to get you some adrenaline right now or something in your system right now, but then it's going to fade and you're going to have a sugar crash. I see a lot of people who do some clickbait kind of stuff and their views skyrocket and they're like, this is easy. And then people realize they're clickbaiting and people stop watching them and then their views crash and they get legitimately depressed. It's bad. Okay. Don't do that. All right. If you're going to do clickbait, we use the term we use is ethical clickbait. Now what that means is you tease people with it. Like the one, like, can this cheap printer beat the X1 Carbon? Now I already know the answer to it. But that's a question that people have. It's enticing. It feels like there's some drama there. But at the end of the day, I answer that question in the video. All right. Always deliver on what your title and your thumbnail propose. All right. We'll try. If you got more questions, you want videos, like if there's enough questions on a single topic, I'll do more videos to follow up with it. This channel is not one that I'm really just, I'm trying to build and grow and stuff. It's where I try to answer people's questions. I had some people asking about this, and I thought this is a great opportunity to show this. So that's why you got this video. Anyway, as I said, if you got questions, put it down below. I always try to answer them. If you like what we do here, what we say here, go ahead and chomp that like button, smash that subscribe, ring the bell on the way out. You all take care. God bless. And as always, shine on.